I've always had a value for shiny shoes, and I think it's important to make sure that your shoes are pretty clean. When it comes to shining shoes, you have a choice. There's an easy way out. You can buy the sponge. It's about $5 over here at CVS, and you can go ahead and just kind of put it around, and it makes them look good for a couple of hours. It doesn't last very long. Apparently it's not real good for the leather either on the shoes, so I'm not sure if that's really the best option, but it's an easy option, and it can make them look really, really good, like right away. The other option is one of those shoe shining kits, like a box. Probably you remember, it was the kind that your dad had probably, and a couple of years ago, I decided I really wanted one of them. And so I asked for it for Christmas, and guess what? I got it. And I love it because you've got this nice box. You can put your shoe on it, your foot, and shine the shoe there. When you open it up, it has all these really neat rags in it that you can use. And then there's the brushes to get into all the nooks and crannies that are there. And then there's the little shoe polish that comes in the metal can. I think it's called Kiwi shoe polish, and it comes with a clear. I never really quite understood what clear would be used for. And then brown, which I would never use. If you would like my brown, I'm willing to give it to you. And then black. And you know, when it comes to the shoe shining kit, it's an investment. It takes an effort. So you have to, the night before, shine the shoes, get the dirt off, brush them off a little bit, and then go ahead and put the polish on. You can let it sit overnight. And in the morning, you go to your shoes and put them there on the little step and take the rag. And it takes some time, it takes some effort, a little bit of grit, but it's worth it. Because when all is said and done, that shine lasts. Whether it rains that day, whether you go through some dirt, all it just takes is a quick, easy little brush off, and it's just fine. But that's what we want, is something that is long lasting. So the choice is short term or long term. Advent is a lot like that also. We have a choice. This is a very short liturgical season. It's about 3.5 weeks this year. And the short term is, you make it look good. You decorate for Christmas, put the Advent wreath out. I hope you at least light it each night. Maybe you say a prayer. Do all the things like a good Christian does. Put the decorations outside. But then you can go a little deeper. And you can say, this is a special season, just a couple of weeks. It's the beginning of a new liturgical year. To do something special, to put some investment into your spiritual life and into your soul. And that means, yes, coming to Mass. I hope maybe going to confession. If it's been years since you have gone, it's something that we want our children to do. We take the school kids a couple times a year, we bring them over. But as an adult, when was the last time that you stood before God and were accountable for your wrongdoings? When was the last time that you had a good confession? Again, it's like part of shining the shoes, taking that time, going a little deeper, getting into the nooks and crannies of our life. In order to be able to allow God's light to shine, we start with one candle, but it grows each week. And do we want to shine for just a little bit and for a period of time? Or do we want to shine that gets into the grain of our soul? Our readings today speak very beautifully from St. Paul about putting on an armor of light. The gospel has a little bit more of a foreboding sense to it. Be prepared. One will be taken, one will be left. One will be grinding and one will be left behind. I mean, what does that say to us? It's sort of like a foreboding. But if we put on the armor of light, not just now for this Christmas season and this time of Advent, for what's coming, but long term. My friends, that's what God asks of us. And if we do that, then we do not have to ever be afraid. If we are doing what we were asked to do and more, really getting into our lives and seeing it as important that our spiritual life is relevant. It's important to us, not just on the outside, but also to get on the inside. During the week, I was looking at a magazine. I actually get a few magazines delivered to the house, some that I have ordered and subscribed to, some that I haven't actually, and I'm not sure where they come from. All I can think of is that there's this magazine drive every year over at the school, and they have to sell so many, I guess, in order to get a no uniform day, so people put Father Stephen Parks down and order me some magazines. One of them that I'm getting now, it's just started coming, it's always around this time of year, is called Christianity Today. I guess somebody didn't think I was Christian enough, so I need to be Christian every day now. So I said, well, this looks pretty good. It's an ecumenical, evangelical magazine. I thought, well, it was kind of a quieter week this past week. I'll take a look through it. And I was kind of surprised. I found something that really touched my own heart and really made me stop and think about being a witness and about my own life and about putting on the armor of light and allowing God's light to shine through, not just surface, but on the inside. So this is a letter, it says, from the president of this Christianity Today, I guess is what it's called. And he speaks about his growing up. And that growing up, he found that he was faithful, but religion didn't have a whole lot of meaning as much to him. He said, I came from a strong Christian family, attended a fine church. However, compared to the invitation of Jesus to seek first the kingdom, forsake all things, take up our crosses and follow him, the middle-class Christianity around me seemed so small, convenient, and comfortable. If Christians are called to imitate Christ, why did the lives of Christians seem so far from the life of Jesus? Where was the call to die to ourselves? Perhaps it was my self-righteousness or youth. Perhaps it was holy restlessness that many Christians feel. The belief or hope that we were made for more than this. So think about that. We are made for more than the status quo. The soul drowns in shallow waters. Wow, the soul drowns in shallow waters. Its musculature grows weak and unwilling, and I yearn for the risk, the struggle, and the immensity of the deep. And then I kind of perked up because I said, well, here's an evangelical Christian, he's just writing, kind of going on, and this all sounds beautiful. But then I perked up because he started talking about the Catholic faith and about a great witness of our Catholic faith, and that was Mother Teresa. And I said, wow, and apparently he said that when he was younger, that he saw a documentary on Mother Teresa. Now, I just want to say, we're not all called to be Mother Teresa and to do things that are so extraordinary, but we are called to have Christ in our life each day and to be inspired by great witnesses such as Mother Teresa. And he wrote, Mother Teresa gave me hope. It expanded my vision for the kingdom of God and for what it might mean to be a follower of Jesus. It summoned me, as it summoned countless others, to pursue a life more radically surrendered to God. And I guess that's where it really hit me. I thought, what does a life look like that is radically surrendered to God? And maybe for me during this Advent season, it's something I want to reflect upon. The soul can go deeper. The soul will drown in shallow waters. But if it goes deeper, guess who's there to help us breathe? Christ. And so during this Advent season, I invite you to join in surrendering yourself to the Lord, going a little bit deeper, allowing His light to shine. Put on the armor of Christ, the armor of light. Don't just shine for a period of time, for a couple of weeks, but rather do something that is more than the status quo. Because just like those shoes, how do you want your soul to look to God? Do you want it to be clean and fresh, just so that on Christmas Day you can walk in and say, wow, I feel great? Or do we look for Christ every day? Allow Him to be born into our hearts? Do we use just a sponge during this time period to just wipe clean our soul and our spiritual life? Or are we willing to get into the nooks and crannies with the brush and the polish and the rags and the ability to allow Christ's light to shine forth? A sponge or a beautiful box of tools to grow closer to God? The choice is yours.